full, like put a lot of, dairy or, carbs in your body. It was just like everything was just good.
Yeah, and you continued to feel that way like throughout the rest of the evening and everything?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I was totally satiated. Wasn't reaching for anything in the evening. So it was good.
Nice. Do you think that that was, I'm just curious, like with the eating thing, it's about obviously the food, but sometimes emotionally about the company and being there with other people and doing different things that way as well.
Yeah, I just didn't want to ruin the feeling, you know? I just
Yeah.
didn't want to spoil it from the inside out because the whole thing was meeting the new people, just sitting down and having a meal and being truly mindful about it. And I'm pretty good in the mornings. Like one of my goals, as you know, was to take 15 minutes to have the meal.
Yeah.
What the first morning it took me like over 20, so I was pretty proud of myself. But that, lunchtime is like a crapshoot, and dinner, just we don't really eat dinner. So it's really like a catch as catch can sort of thing. It's never really like a meal. So I got to work on that piece of the day and just keep the wheels tight. I start the day well, but then it kind of
Yeah,
goes
so
downhill.
what do you think your biggest obstacles are?
Time. And it's not even time because I'm retired and there's no reason for me to be rushing through this. And I just after breakfast I get a couple of chores done, and then I can't even tell you what happens between like 1 and 7 o'clock. Is I feel like I just blink and it's time to put the chickens in. I'm like, oh, it's that time again.
Yeah.
And then once I put them in, I don't like to eat beyond 5 or 6 o'clock. So because I like to just not have it. And then it just is so then I get a little panicked because it's going to be about 4 o'clock, 4:30, and then it's just whatever I can grab instead of just sitting. So I'll work
Mm,
on that this week. The sugar has been good though. The sugar's been very good. That has been almost non-existent.
nice.
And that for me is a big, big, big thing.
And
I am
how do you attribute, what do you attribute to the success of that?
um laying off like the Morabito coffee with the sweetened milk, like the what is it? The sweet stuff that you put in your coffee, just not having that, having it either black or just with cream, taking my time with it. So I really don't even need the sugar because I'm enjoying the whole other part of coffee.
Yeah.
Um, and just really, again, being like mindful about like, do you really want to put that in there? You've had all this clean eating for the last few days. Do you really want to ruin it with, because for me, it has to be none. It can't be some, because some just turns into like that slippery slope of can't get enough sugar. Like I will eat candy corn until my teeth get like coated with the sugar. It's so bad. And I get a headache.
Wow, yeah.
So, like, I'll eat it to that extent. It really is truly like an addiction. And even when I don't want it and I'm so full, I'm still just shoveling it in. Any kind of candy, or it's not even like good sugar. It's just like shit, processed shit. That's what it is.
Yeah, it gets that quick high of energy.
Absolutely. And I do have to be careful because sometimes I'll substitute the fruit for that, and I'll find myself having 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 peaches, banana, berries, in the day. So
Yeah.
I have to be mindful of that as well.
That's true,
Can't trade one for the other.
but the whole like fruit is quite different with how it breaks down and spikes insulin and everything.
Hmm.
So to be like I did that for a while. I would eat like 5 or 6 apples at a time and um you know, I don't know where exactly that was coming from, but just to be more okay, I guess the goal is to not beat myself up and to try.
Right.
So part of it, I would make sure I get enough protein because that makes me crave
I just
stuff.
want to grab a piece of paper. Here we go. Okay. Up the protein.
Yeah, what is it? People say, so I've been writing down some different notes and things to just bring up to you guys. Maybe you know some of these things, maybe you don't, but half of our body weight in ounces of water every single day.
Okay.
And when I put that one in the Facebook group, um, starting off in the morning with lemon water.
I had read though, I think it was something with the enamel on your teeth.
Yeah, I've come across that, and then I've come across people who also say that that is not as true as people think, and
Okay.
there are studies going against that. Plus, it's not just like sucking on a pure lemon. Just, maybe half of a lemon in a quart. Where is it? I use this, different things like this, a quart of water, and that
Okay.
put like half a lemon in it, and then maybe after that, a little fresh, just clean water to kind of rinse it out a little bit if need be.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
I find that's really huge with just getting my system going because at night our body's using so much water, especially our brain to process
Mm.
things and and deal with toxins and everything like that.
Right.
So the water is huge, and that I've noticed for myself that will help. If I'm fully hydrated, that will definitely by itself, besides the protein, help curb my appetite in,
Yeah.
a positive way. So if I'm
Mm-hmm.
fully hydrated, and then there are many different schools of thought on what to eat first in the morning, but
Right.
part of it is like, noticing it. So it's either like, and I was gonna write down, I don't know if I put like a PDF document or something in the Facebook group or something, but starting off with maybe just a fruit smoothie for a few days, like bananas, mangoes,
Mm-hmm.
blueberries, and then some spices like cinnamon and nutmeg, which are just magical. And then the way
Right.
to help heal the body, and then starting off with that, just fruit, and then let that burn off for a few hours. And then the next phase would be trying either scrambled eggs or scrambled tofu with greens and stuff like that, vegetables,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
potatoes, and seeing how we feel that after that. Or the next one would be oatmeal, which I put the other day, oatmeal with blueberries, peanut butter, and seeing with those carbs how long that keeps us going. Um,
Oh, okay.
because everybody's different, body types. Do you know, like with, you said you're a yoga teacher, right?
Yep.
So with like Ayurveda, the different Kapha, Pitta, Vata,
Uh-huh.
we're all going to have different tendencies.
I found this book. It's Ayurvedic cooking for Westerners.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to bring it with me. I'm heading to Long Island tomorrow. I'm going to bring this with me and mark off. I try to do like 2 new recipes a week. So we'll see what's in there.
Nice. And you've been doing that?
Well, yeah, the recipe part, yeah, but I haven't been doing that book. I just got that book. It came into one of the places where I volunteer. So I snatched it up.
Cool. Good stuff. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so we um yeah, so trying different things like that in order to see how different types of foods affect the diet throughout the day, staying hydrated. And those are like those are two of the main things I do. And then 70% water-rich foods. Um,
Okay.
that's like salad, greens, like peppers, onions, cabbage, tomatoes, like like a big salad. I don't have one made right now, but like a big salad. And then when all of that, part of it is with the water in there, but also the fiber and just filling us
Mhm.
up. It's like, whoa. I mean, have you ever tried to eat? I tried it once, eat an entire bunch of kale.
No.
It's like after a few leaves, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I've had enough, you know? Um, and so, but allowing that to build up, allowing that to build up and build up as it does, because when we don't have those bacteria in our guts properly, the right
Mhm.
amounts, then it's gonna take longer to digest. So building those things up gradually.
I do a shot of vinegar every day of the apple cider vinegar. Just trying to do it like midday.
Okay. Yeah, there's that drink, what's it called? Switchel.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Apple cider vinegar, water, a little honey or molasses.
Yeah. They have all kinds of switchels up in here in Cherry Valley at the Hilltop Pharmacy store. All kinds. Blueberry ginger. I mean, it's great.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't been up there for a while. I know they had there was a lilac farm up there.
Yep, yep. I think those are done though, with this heat that we've had. So
Oh, right, right.
yeah, they're talking a lot of like a lot of the flowers that don't usually bloom. One of the farms up here that does sunflowers, they're starting to come up already. And she's like, this is not right. They're not supposed to be here till August. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
things are
yeah, but there's no
changing.
climate change, right?
Every, life will never be the same.
No.
Um, all right, so I don't know if Kelly's going to join us, but some of the things that I had in mind to go deeper on, like what I said last time, the 7 levels deep that we didn't
Mhm.
do, some of the things I mentioned at the first dinner, which I want to get to more now, which will help gain clarity and create purpose and meaning with what we're doing. And so with
Okay.
the first, since this is just you and I, it's going to be really, it's quite poignant it'll be powerful. Um,
Okay.
so I know like one of the things you wrote down in your goal is live to 100.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So like what's more about that? Live to 100, why? How does that look?
Just really, sometimes I feel like I haven't found the purpose yet for my life. So by the time I find it, I want to be able to really work with it for a while. No one in my family's ever been 100, and I want to be like an active 100. Like I just want to die in my sleep. Like when it's done, just that's going to be it. I don't want to be sick. I don't want to be struggling. I don't want to be a burden on anybody. I just
Yeah,
want to. So I don't know.
totally.
Nobody's ever done it in my family. So,
So do you ever journal these kinds of things?
oh yeah, every day
You do, okay.
I do.
Can I
Hmm.
ask like a sample of how you write it, the types of language that you use?
Typically, what I do is I read, one of them is like, yeah, I'll show you. I have my little bag of books here, all packed, ready to go. Um, I read this every day. It's called Everyday Spirit. It's got
Okay.
like everyday kind of things. I also do like the Overeaters Anonymous thing for the day. And I have on Sundays, I pick an oracle card to kind of focus on for the week. And then somewhere in that reading, there will be a line or something that just hits me the right way. And that's what I use to journal. So it could be anything, like kind of when you look in the mirror, what do you see? Being kinder to yourself, um, getting out in nature, that kind of stuff is what I'll journal about.
Okay.
Unless I see
So
like a really cool meme,
unless you see a really what?
like a really cool meme that kind of speaks to me, like on Facebook or whatever.
Right. Okay, so then starting off with an I am statement. You have a pen and paper there?
Yep,
Okay, so
got it.
I'll put this on for say maybe 60 seconds, but I am, so write down I am.
Mm-hmm.
And now write down whatever you are. Start now. Just write. Just write I am. And you can write the word
Okay.
I am over and over again if you want with what you are. I am this, I am that, but just writing. And just allow everything to come out as an exercise, a mindful exercise, whatever's in your head.
Hmm. What else can we say?
All right, that's over 1 minute now. All right.
Okay.
What is right now, what is one thing you're grateful for?
Oh, my health.
What's that?
My health,
Okay.
generally speaking.
Generally speaking. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it could be better, but I could be way worse too.
Yeah. So would you share some of the things with your I am statement?
Sure. Um, kind, compassionate, rigid, loving, tired, humble, athletic, worried, timely, generous, musical, active, punctual, healthy, large. I don't know if I said rigid. Rigid.
Okay. And what are the favorite things out of those that you like?
Okay. Kind, generous,
Like the top three.
and um, the third one. Loving.
And what's one that you didn't write down that you really want to be, but you might think you're not? I am
Hmm. That I might think I am,
that, yeah,
but
maybe
I'm
you're
not.
holding back on that you know you are, but you hesitate to write it.
Hmm.
Like
I don't
you're,
know. OCD, but that could be with rigid.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm
but
very rigid in my thinking of black and white, right and wrong, what people should be doing. I tend to judge people based on what I would do. Ergo, they always end up, well, most of the time, end up falling short. And then I get mad. So that might be one thing I didn't write down that is kind of
okay.
like,
So to flip that, to have this is good. So like the idea of change your story, change your life. What if you wrote something down over and over that said, I am easygoing?
I can try that. See, I'm already writing, right? 50 times a day. I am easygoing.
Right. And what speaks to you? I am easygoing. I
Flexible.
accept people fully for who they are.
Set. For who they are.
Do those seem like they kind of hit the nail on the head for you?
Yes.
What would you add to
Mhm.
them to make them a little more poignant? Stick with me, Linda.
Well, accepting not only like the people themselves, but their behavior. Because I think that's like two different things sometimes.
Yep. Okay.
So people and behaviors, like people can be who they are, but their behavior is kind of what impacts like maybe myself or somebody around me who I care about.
Okay. How about
Not
I?
necessarily like the person,
Yep.
you know?
So writing maybe I take care of myself no matter what other people are doing. I know how to take
Okay.
care of myself despite what other people are doing. Because if we take, maybe in the best way possible, but if we take care of ourselves in the best way possible,
Right. We'll be better equipped to not necessarily react.
right? And sometimes there's a fear that other people, like, yeah, I mean, there's a fear of what other people might think. I could tell you a story if you want. I think this brings it close to home
Sure.
for me. So, probably about 2010, when I started changing things in my life in a bigger way, I would start realizing the things that my parents would do that I wouldn't bring up, but would really kind of eat at me. And so I went over to my mother's house one time with my girlfriend and we were talking, hanging out, and she would interrupt me quite a bit when I started talking. And I had thought about this ahead of time. I was like, okay, so I'm if I get frustrated or yell or get mad, then that's just going to be met with resistance. So how do I, in the moment, I say where I'm coming from, but
Mhm.
without blaming, not saying anything about so much the other side, but this is where I'm at. So that kind of goes in, this kind of goes in line with the I am statement. I am taking care of myself. And my mother would interrupt and I would say, um, actually, would you please stop interrupting me because I don't know if I should share at all. And so
Mhm.
that was a thing for a little. And then I tried it again, then got interrupted again. And I said, well, okay, I'm gonna leave now. And she got
Mhm.
offended. She's like, what are you doing? And I thought,
Ah,
but I'm the most mindful I can be. This has nothing to do with you or anybody who's interrupting me or anything. But I just don't know what to do right now, so I'm gonna just remove myself from the situation. That's the best I can do. I don't know how else to navigate it. And she was like, "Are you serious?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't know what else to do." So I left, and then that over time that changed the dynamic. So my point is the example of you bring up like other people seem frustrating or other people their
mhm.
behavior or something like that. Like, but I the mindfulness that I bring to it and when it's with because this program is Nourish, the body, mind, and soul begins with food and eating, but these things, if I don't take care of them, they sit there
Mhm.
and just resonate within me. And this is why it's hard for me to um, be in the moment and eat because of all this other frustration that I've let build up.
Mhm.
So if I start dealing with that, it's like, oh, I could just sit here at lunch and take half an hour and really enjoy it and try to chill. So I started taking care of myself in that way. And,
Okay.
pe people with old family, there's lots of other examples I have too, but with old families and behaviors, once one person
Mhm.
changes, the other person doesn't necessarily want to change, right? They don't want to change.
Right.
They're comfortable the way it is. It's been
Right.
working for so long. So when I change something, when that energy changes, it's like the yin yang thing, when
Mhm.
one energy gets a little bigger, it's going to push out the circle, and the other energy has to figure out what to do, and it might be frustrated. But this is not about not taking care of other people. It's about taking care of ourselves so that when we do have time to just be and reflect and nourish ourselves with food or a sauna or whatever it is, that we can truly more so enjoy it. And it's baby steps. So um, I just want to offer that example up that,
Okay.
how do we take care of ourselves in any given moment?
Mhm.
Um, so going back to the the idea of
Mhm.
why to live to 100 years old, nobody in the family's done it, to be healthy, to be present and aware of everything that's going on and in good health. And I think you mentioned
Mhm.
dying in your sleep peacefully, it sounded like.
Mhm.
Why is that a thing for you?
I just kind of want to see too what happens everywhere, like with the earth, with the energies, with politics, with people. I think about, I mean, going to all the way through high school and college with no cell phone, no access really to computers, and just seeing how that's all changed. Just seeing the impact that some of these things are having, even though at this point it kind of seems like it's pretty negative. I don't know. I feel like we're like on this precipice of something huge coming.
Okay, to see
Yeah, it might
change.
not be
So,
positive, but it's something
uh,
big.
yeah, I totally agree. It's going to be interesting. So,
It really is.
why do you want to see that change?
I'm just curious as to how that's going to impact, not only myself, but the younger people in my family. Um, Even though all of them are all in like their late 20s, mid to late 20s, and nobody has any interest in having children at all. So, but just kind of seeing where, they all end up, how these things impact them. And yeah, I'm just really curious as to what's going to happen. I've been reading a lot about, I just finished a book called Anna, Grandmother of Jesus, and whole different, I've always struggled, being a practicing Catholic. Practicing, I go to church most of the time, but that's about as far as it gets. But I never really bought into the whole, like, I was always struggling with what happened to those 30 years? Why do we have nothing? Like, we have a big deal about the birthday and his birth date. And then we have a big deal about when he's 33 and the crucifixion, all that stuff. And we have nothing in between in the Bible. And I've always believed that he never really fully died when he was crucified, like dead, but that he had received trainings or in those 30 years that kind of allowed him to slow everything down to the point of looking like he was dead. Um, Appearing to be. And that was, a lot of what's in this book, like the initiations that people went through, that Jesus went through, both in Egypt and in Greece, and all these things. And it just so much aligned with, my idea of sort of how things are without the puppet man, the white puppet man up there with the beard being God and controlling everything, but that there is something definitely bigger than us. We weren't just an accident. Even just walking through the woods, sometimes you see the myriad of plants and animals, and you're like, I know it's been billions of years or whatever, but there's no way that this could have all just happened by like a misfired cell division or something. There's just no way.
Yeah.
So, so I'm starting to read and find out more about things that align with, I'm not articulating this well, but things that align with what I felt in my heart, but could never really articulate and always struggled with my church. Like now I go because it's like a whole thing of like guilt if I don't go.
Okay.
But I can tell you, if this church closes, I'm done. That won't be for me anymore.
So that's some great stuff so number one was see what happens with the earth, energy, politics, people.
Mhm.
Um, why? To see how it impacts younger generation. Number three, why went into your beliefs with religion, Catholicism, to see greater depth. I wrote down to see greater
Mhm.
depth, a bigger picture. You said that God, something like there's not just this person, this white guy sitting up there, and there's something more,
Yeah.
and a connection with greater depth, heart. So all of that energy, all what why is that important to you? And I know we're going deep here, and I know the purpose of this
Mhm.
exercise is to really dig deep.
Okay.
Why is that kind of thing important to you about seeing? Maybe it seems like a deeper truth almost or something. You're
I feel like
searching.
it's almost a validation of what I've kind of always sort of had in my heart, but never really could find anything that validated it. So now all these
What's the
books are starting to
validation?
come. It's the validation that what has been fed to me basically is not all there is.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Because I was never, even as a kid, I was like, but what happened in 30, like a lot happens in 33 years. You get one snippet, like when he's like in his early teens or whatever, when he's in the temple, Jesus. And then you just get nothing. It's like silent. Like it could not have been like that.
So it could not have been like there was just nothing happening.
Yeah, that he was just like a normal going through the whole, just life like everybody else.
Oh, why not?
Because then I think it might have even have said that, oh, and then Jesus spent 33 years and he grew up a normal kid and had a typical teenage, um, whatever years. And then as a young adult, he worked with his father. It just could not, I just feel like it just could not have been like that. There had to be some preparation for him somewhere along the line.
For what?
I think for his crucifixion, because like
Some
I
prep.
said, I don't believe that he was really truly dead. There were just too many things. It's kind of like they talk about typically if one, he died like way too fast. Usually they talk about it being hours and hours and hours, sometimes a day, like to the point where they will break the person who's crucified, they would break their legs so that they would, the legs wouldn't hold them up more. So they would just really kind of boom and the lungs would collapse, just speeding death along. The fact that, that it was like only like 3 hours and then they took him down. So it's kind of like, I don't know. There were just some things that just never sat and I just couldn't accept because the church said so. And I also always felt like women had to have a bigger role here. They couldn't have all been subservient. They couldn't. I mean, as a mom, and I'm not a mom, but as a mother to watch her child, be crucified, if it's true and she truly was peaceful, not a hysterical banshee, then she had to know something. She had to know that this really wasn't as it appeared,
So
you
that
know?
deeper truth. It sounds like that's getting to some the deeper levels
Yeah.
of almost, I'm just saying this in how it sounds to me, like what's really going on.
Mm-hmm. And
So
and I believe that we've lost a lot of knowledge
so
or that
why is
it's been
that
taken and hidden.
agreed? Well, we could get into that a little bit, but so the why is that important to you? The
Because
whole
now,
idea of seeing perhaps the whole picture, all of the knowledge, maybe a deeper truth, if you want to call it that. Why is that important to you?
because I want to know what happened. I'm curious. I want
Why
to know if like
why do you want why do you
if
want to
my
know what
theories would
happened?
bear out.
What's that?
I want to know if my theories will bear out.
Your theories about energy, like the connection of energy, or
Yeah, and just, those 33 years and women and their role and their place. And because I just can't sit with it the way it is.
why?
I don't know. I just can't get comfortable with it and say, oh, that's just the way it is.
You know, it was interesting you used the word fed, and this is you talk some about food stuff and then what the church fed to us. You said what the church
Hmm.
fed to us, like it was missing something.
Hmm.
So to know a deeper truth, women's roles, yeah. So this is asking one more time, the seventh one, to try to gain even more
Hmm.
clarity on this with wanting to know these types of things
Hmm.
and maybe thinking about the the frustration that's there or the lack of confidence it seems like in church or people who are giving us information. You mentioned
Hmm.
something about hiding the information, maybe. We don't have all the information. So women in their role, you mentioned women being subservient for a long
Hmm.
time, yeah. And that seems like one of the big ones with women and the roles that people get sort of put into. Why is that important to you?
Hmm. Again, I think it's getting back down to like what really happened. I just feel like I
Yeah.
need to know. I need
Why?
to know.
Why? Why?
I don't know. It's just like I need to have this knowledge. I need to know what happened. Um, I don't know why. I just feel like, and I just maybe because I feel like I can never get to that point of knowing because the information's kind of all over the place. And then now with computers and everything else, people can just put up whatever they want and whether it's true or not. So now you don't even know if what you're reading or seeing or whatever is true. So that confounds a lot of it.
Okay, so the some of the mindfulness gets taken away, some of the things about food get distracted because of a lack of a knowing, a lack of it sounds like what you're saying is knowing the truth. And you said you mentioned the word
Mm-hmm.
fed with the church, um, which was interesting. And then it's you talk about overeating or having a hard time with that kind of thing
Mm-hmm.
and like looking for that information. And it's like maybe it's almost like it's compensating for the lack of information that might be seen or known by you. But what
Mm-hmm.
if all of the information was there? What if all of the truth was there? What if everything that you needed
Mm-hmm.
was already
Mm-hmm.
inside of you? What if all of the wisdom, all of the knowledge
Mm-hmm.
was already within you?
Oh, I believe it is, but I still am looking for that outer validation, that outer, even though I am phenomenal for not listening to myself and regretting it every single time, pretty much without fail. Go check the chickens. The chickens are fine. I go, it's a mess out there. You know, bring a jacket. I don't bring a jacket, need a jacket. I'm like, to listen and you don't do it almost every, like 90% of the time. Although this week I have to say, being more mindful, I'm like, gotta listen. That's coming from somewhere of knowing, a place of knowing. And I
Mhm.
believe it's inside. I struggle with quieting my mind enough to hear it. Like I believe children are just like open to everything, spirits, energy, whatever. And then we just get cluttered with stuff inside and from outside. And then we lose that ability. So I struggle a little bit with getting that back in my meditation practice. I'm lucky if I can get a good 10 minutes in
For meditation.
of like, yeah,
Yeah.
of solid before this starts. So,
Okay. So the movement yoga is designed that way, movement before the meditation in order to at least wear out the body a little bit so we can sit longer and not let the mind rule everything. Uh,
mhm,
Maybe going on different things, different yoga practices, different sets of movements, going on a walk before meditating in
mhm.
the morning. It sounds like maybe you meditate in the morning?
Yes. Hmm.
So if you don't do movement before that, then getting in a bit of a walk before that.
Hmm.
Actually, I'm gonna come up with some like a kriya, like we would do in different kinds of yoga, specific sets of movements, and
Okay.
I'm gonna put it in the Facebook group, but it's geared toward you, and
Okay.
I'll put it down there. Um, and actually, I wonder if there'll be some exercises, but it won't be the full thing because I won't be able to just teach it online. But um, to do that, I will look for that and I will get pieces of that for you. What limitations, physical limitations do you have that I should look out for?
Nothing really. The knees are like the left one is a little questionable, but really that's it.
Okay, but you
My
can
only limitation is my mind.
just being on like the four, like cat cow, being on the hands and knees, that's
That's
okay.
fine.
Okay.
That's fine. I don't
Um,
really do inversions. Like I don't do headstands or handstands.
Okay, yeah, we don't need to get into that, but basic sitting for a bit if you need to sit longer, you boost your hips up by sitting on a block if it's so it's
Mhm. Yep,
allowed you to sit.
always.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, um, all right, so I'm gonna get something like that for you and put pieces of it together. And then one other thing I wanted to bring up that I sent to Monica was the idea of not like a full meal, but a mindful picnic to meet with you guys and be outside and you eat and listen to the birds, listen to a stream wherever we end up going. If you guys are into that,
Mhm.
I would love to add that in here and do that with you to really
Sure.
start to teach the nervous system to just calm down a little bit more, it takes practice. It's like a muscle. We're gonna get strong,
Mhm.
a strong bicep, we have to work it out. To calm the nervous system down, we actually have to practice those kinds of things. And I think
Okay.
this meal that we had with Lisa was incredible because it's good food. People got to know each other a little bit more and talk and share, and it was exciting.
Right.
But now it's time to do some of the work, to do some of the work. So a couple other things
Mhm.
I want to give you too. One is called painting your aura. So I'm going to stand up and
Okay.
have you ever done painting your aura before?
Show it to me, and I'm sure I've done it, but maybe called something else. Like in Qigong,
So
we've
it's
done
a
some of either this.
Yeah, the
back it
thought of
down.
bringing up the hands, and we take
Hmm.
our hands, and it's like imagining that we reach up for any energy, and they'll say in the yoga world that's not serving us, any energy that's holding us back, and we're gonna reach up,
Hmm.
and it's like we grab that energy, and then
Uh-huh.
we exhale down to the ground and let it go.
And push it out.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Hmm.
Yep. And so we
Yep.
let that go down, and it's like thinking of one limiting emotion that goes along with it. So maybe it's aggravation, frustration, fear, guilt, jealousy, um,
Hmm.
uh, anger, any kind of li- emotion that is holding us back, that's keeping us in fight or flight. So
Okay.
repeating that at least 3 times. So, and when we come down, so can you think of one emotion that you would right now love to just get rid of?
Judgment.
Judgment. Okay. Can you stand up with me?
Yeah. This is like part of energy medicine too. Like Donna
Yeah.
Eden does
Okay.
this. Yeah.
So, all right,
Yep.
judgment. So we're gonna reach up, and you reach, 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 reach as high as you can. You grab as much judgment as you can with your fingers. Make a fist. Inhale. Exhale. Let it go down to the ground. Inhale up. Grab it again. Exhale. Let it go back down to the ground. Inhale one more time. Grab it. Let it go down to the ground. And then pause for a second. Now, from here, once you let go of judgment, what kind of elevated emotion would you want to bring in, like love, joy, freedom, gratitude, kindness,
Flexibility.
flexibility? Okay, great.
Flexibility.
So you're going to inhale up and grab the judgment, let it go, and then when you come up, you scoop up flexibility and bring it into your heart center. Now we're going to do it a few more times without bringing it to the heart. We're just going to let go of judgment, scoop up flexibility, and we're going to do it a few times. And then the last time, I'll say bring your hands to your heart and feel what that feels like. So inhale up, grab all that judgment, let it go down to the ground. Inhale up with flexibility, grab a little bit more judgment, let it go. Inhale, flexibility. Last time, grab the last bit of that judgment, let it go down to the ground. Inhale up, bring flexibility into your heart center. Now, allow your eyes to close and think about what that feeling feels like, the flexibility that you want. Just see that in your life, how it manifests, how it is in your life. Physical flexibility, emotional flexibility, flexibility with communicating with others, flexibility with thinking about the way you are and letting go of self-judgment, the flexibility of everything in your life. And with your hands on your heart center, just allowing yourself to be there with your eyes closed for a moment, feeling feeling the flexibility that you have, and seeing yourself, the future you, as flexible. Imagining yourself either walking down the road or interacting with people, and you see that flexibility, you embody that flexibility. What does that feel like to you in your, can you feel it in your body, in your mind, in your heart, your soul? Allow yourself to feel the greatness of that flexibility. And you feel the energy behind your chest, right in the center of your chest, in your heart center. And begin imagining the flexibility of your heart first and foremost. As we have that flexibility with our hearts, we have flexibility with others. allowing others to be. As we talked about taking care of ourselves, being mindful enough to take care of ourselves in the best way possible in any given moment without judgment on somebody else or without being rude or mean. It's about taking care of ourselves. It has nothing to do with other people. Making those mindful choices that take care of you in the moment. Imagining yourself in some future situation. Bring some future situation to mind that seems like it might be a possible frustration. And then seeing yourself taking care of yourself in the best way possible and knowing how empowering that feels, how liberating, how freeing. And you begin feeling lighter and happier and brighter. You start to become, in all senses, a lighthouse to other people because your energy is shining so greatly. You walk with a lighter step because you know you're taking care of you. Because you know there's nothing else to worry about because you've already taken care of you. And the energy that you feel for that, allowing yourself to embody that powerful strength that you hold within. And as you're here, feeling your lower torso expand in all directions as you inhale, and then contract as you exhale, allowing the diaphragm to work, allowing the belly to expand out to the front, the ribs out to the sides, and knowing as you breathe in this calm, relaxed way, the body is sending messages to the brain that you are calm. And then the brain makes decisions based on calmness, based on safety. Allowing yourself to be and feel that powerful strength within you that's always within you. Knowing it's always there and you can tap into it at any moment. After you let go of that judgment and you bring in that flexibility, you are strength. You are power. You are calm. And then bringing your hands down to the sides. Shaking them out a little bit. And then bring your hands up, the elbows to the front, your hands to the back. Go ahead and give yourself a pat on the back. And then bring your arms around and give yourself a hug. Thanking yourself for thinking about your practice and how to bring your best energy to the world. Because that can be scary, but you're doing it. And then coming down quickly and finding your seat and writing down some of the feelings that you had about finding that flexibility. What did it feel like to find that flexibility? Maybe writing where you specifically felt it in your body or how it felt. And as you keep writing these feelings, when you physically write them down, they start to get more ingrained into the brain, more ingrained into the mind. Who you truly are at your core. You're not judgment, you are flexible in every aspect of the word. How do you feel, Linda?
Good.
So, okay. What shifted for you there?
Well, in the beginning, when we were just releasing the judgment, I could feel like the back of my neck and my shoulders coming up and the breath kind of quickening. And then everything just kind of like released down when we brought in like the flexibility, because it kind of gave me like, okay, I can do this. I can deal with the judgment when it comes up next time. This is a tool in the toolbox that I can pull out. So the breath kind of relaxed, everything kind of came down a little bit. And it just really resonated, inhaling in that flexibility. I've always done the blowing out, but never the bringing in, never bringing the, okay, so what do you do instead of, or what are you instead of? So
Yeah.
that was very helpful.
So as an assignment, you said write something 50 times earlier, but I think maybe the most poignant thing is I release judgment and realize I am flexible as I proceed throughout life.
It's judgment. Realize. Flexible as I proceed. Life. Okay.
Okay. So then
Yeah.
writing, I would say writing, I don't want to have too much, but writing that for 5 minutes every morning, like
Okay.
page of a journal.
I can do that.
And for at least 60 seconds each morning, bringing the hands down to, I don't know if I can move the camera down here. Bring the hands down to the belly
Okay.
and just practice the diaphragmatic breathing. Do you ever practice that like intentionally?
Yeah, I'm a good belly breather.
You are?
That's one thing I've got pretty, when I recognize it,
Yeah,
I definitely. Mm-hmm. Okay.
exactly. So recognizing it in the moment,
Mm-hmm.
then while belly breathing, while doing it for say 60 seconds in the morning,
Okay.
visualizing anything that might be coming up during the day that might trigger a frustration and still noticing the breath and practicing expanding the lower torso in all directions while visualizing that and then visualizing the situation or whatever it is going well. Visualize it going well.
Mm-hmm. It's funny you say that because that's how I usually open my yoga practice with my ladies. Like I do a yin practice from with some friends from Long Island on Zoom a couple times a week, and that's one of the things that we do. And we do in the morning. It's like, okay, now kind of mentally play through your day, any kind of situations that could be a trigger or whatever, and now rewind it a little bit and let's have a positive outcome. So that's, yeah, that's interesting that you said that. So we do that.
Yeah.
So, okay,
Oh.
perfect.
All right. You said you're leaving town for a little bit, but I'm gonna send
Yep.
an email out to you guys about the mindful picnic. I think that will be powerful to start learning with the
Sure.
nervous system. So I will send that out to you and Kelly and Monica, and we'll try to
Okay.
put the time together for that.
Sounds good.
And let's see, we're getting close to 7. Before
That's
we
okay.
go,
I gotta put my chickens in. I'm just watching them lose their marbles out there.
oh, I see. Okay, okay, yeah. Any questions you have before we go? Anything with the
No, this
goal?
was very helpful.
Okay.
I appreciate it. Namaste.
Namaste, Linda. Have an incredible rest of your fourth and a safe travels down to Long Island.
Thank you.
Um,
I will be practicing my flexibility.
Awesome. And people, in order to, I can meet with maybe people who didn't join at another time, but the idea of this is recorded and sharing it with people. But
Mhm.
if you're okay with that because it was just you and I, so maybe it was more personal than you wanted to not
No,
share with
you can
me.
share it.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So I'll stop the recording and I'll figure out how to share that with people and then
Okay.
we'll go from there. And if you have any questions, let me know. You can send a Facebook chat or anything like that to me, okay?
I will. Thank you very much.
All
Have a
right.
good
Have a good
night.
night, Linda.